In the discussion of vascular neoplasms, first we have to discuss about the benign neoplasms of the blood vessels. In the benign neoplasms, let me discuss about hemangiomas. These hemangiomas are often described as the blood-filled vessels. So, the tumors which are composed of blood-filled vessels is the common terminology what we use to describe hemangiomas. And these hemangiomas actually constitute 7% of all the benign tumors of infancy and the childhood. This is the MCQ point. And these hemangiomas, majority of them are present since birth, and immediately after the birth, they tend to increase in size but may eventually regress spontaneously. While hemangiomas are typically localized lesions which are confined especially to the head as well as neck region, but occasionally they may be more extensive, which is called as angiomatosis, and may arise internally also, but often they are external neoplasms, often confined to head and neck regions. And nearly, if you see, approximately 1/3 of these internal lesions are found in the liver. So whenever an examiner asks you the question, what is the most common location for the internal hemangiomas, your answer should be the liver. And remember that as these are benign neoplasms and most common type when compared to that of all other type of vascular neoplasms, the malignant transformation of these hemangiomas are extremely rare. And here let us discuss about different types of hemangiomas, and the first one will be the capillary hemangiomas. Out of all the different types of hemangiomas, remember that the capillary hemangiomas are the most common type of vascular tumors. This is the MCQ point what you need to remember. What is the most common type of vascular tumor? It should be the capillary hemangioma. In the exam, that is what they will ask you. What is the most common location? What is the most common neoplasm? This is how the examiner language will be. So the most common location will be the skin, subcutaneous tissues, and the mucous membranes of the oral cavities and the lips, as you can see in these images over here. These are the most common locations for the capillary hemangiomas. Now, after discussing about the most common locations, we also should know about what are the least common locations. Least common locations will be internal anatomical areas, or we can say internal lesions which are visceral in nature, that is liver, spleen and kidneys. Out of all the three also, which one will be the most common internal lesion means your answer should be liver. Now when we discuss about the gross pathology of these capillary hemangiomas, these are unencapsulated lesions measuring approximately from 1 millimeter to several centimeters. And histologically, these neoplasms comprised of a thin-walled capillaries with a scant stroma. This is the gross as well as histological picture of the capillary hemangioma. After the capillary hemangioma, the another variant of hemangioma is called as juvenile hemangiomas. So remember that juvenile hemangiomas is a variant of capillary hemangioma. It is not a separate type. It is one of the variant of capillary hemangioma itself. So this juvenile hemangioma is also called as strawberry hemangiomas, or the authors often describe this as strawberry hemangiomas of the newborn skin, which are extremely common. And if you see the epidemiology, which are seen approximately in 1 in 200 births and can be multiple also. And when compared to that of normal classical type of capillary hemangioma, these juvenile hemangiomas, that is juvenile capillary hemangiomas, often grow rapidly for the first few months of life, but they begin to regress after 1 to 3 years after birth, and they completely regress by the age of 7. This is the MCQ point. Juvenile hemangiomas completely regress by the age of 7. They began to regress after 1 to 3 years, which means initially after the birth, they tend to be more rapid. Regression starts after 1 year or 3 years, and complete regression can be seen by the end of 7 years, right? This is about the juvenile capillary hemangiomas. Next one will be another variant of hemangioma is called as pyogenic granulomas. The pyogenic granulomas is also called as lobular capillary hemangiomas. So, which means these are also capillary hemangiomas. So, pyogenic granulomas are capillary hemangiomas that manifest as rapidly growing when compared to that of other two what I already discussed. These are rapidly growing and red pedunculated lesions on the skin, gingival or oral mucosa. These are the most common anatomical sites where we can see this pyogenic granuloma. So why we are calling it as a granuloma? Because of the presence of exuberant granulation tissue. You have to remember the sentence, guys, because the examiner will ask the same sentence. In what type of hemangioma you will see the exuberant granulation tissue? Your answer should be pyogenic granuloma. So often you will see an exuberant granulation tissue in this particular case, and because of these anatomical location where they tend to occur, they bleed easily and often ulcerated. And approximately if you see the 25% of the lesions which usually developed after trauma, reaching approximate size of 1 to 2 centimeters within few weeks after they appear. And now let us talk about another one is called as the pregnancy tumor. So whenever we discuss about the pregnancy tumor, the name itself says that it is associated with pregnancy. And it is also called as granuloma gravidarum. So when I call it as granuloma gravidarum, can I say that it is also a subtype of pyogenic granuloma, but it is associated with pregnancy? Yes, it is. It is also a pyogenic granuloma that occurs infrequently, that is approximately 1% of the patients in the gingiva of the pregnant woman. And these lesions which are seen in the pregnant woman may spontaneously regress, that is especially after pregnancy, right? Or they may undergo fibrosis if these lesions are very extensive and severe, but occasionally these lesions require surgical excision, otherwise they regress automatically after the pregnancy.